Do you want to earn money running a claw machine business? Have you ever wondered, how does one program one of these Mega Mini claw machines anyway? Well then stay tuned because this video's for you. I'm Nate and you're watching your favorite claw machines. The first thing you're going to want to do is turn the machine on. If you haven't done that, none of these other steps are going to work. So just press the button in the back. It's the only button in the back and that'll turn on the machine. As we make our way down, you'll see our screen right here. This screen is going to be where the menu pops up. Right now it's showing how many plays you have and how much time you have left for the play that you start. The joystick and the button are going to be important for doing the programming. That's how we're going to go through the menu and select things. But before we get to that, we're going to have to go down here to the coin door, open it up with our key. And as you can see back here, we got some interesting stuff going on. We have obviously the mechanism for counting the coins and dispensing them into this hole down here that goes further down into our tray that collects the coins. But further back, we have some buttons, and we have that big power button to the right. But the ones that we're concerned about today are gonna be the red button and the green button. What the green button does is it gives you more plays without having to put money in. So if you just want to test the machine, you can simply press this button here and it will add plays for you. The red button is what we're going to press to get to our menu. All right, let's get started. The first thing I'll note before we get into all of this is that there's some settings that I'm just not messing with. Basic settings is one that we're going to get into though. Also probability, parameter, accounts, date clear. We're not going to mess with reset or fault test or factory test or fixed point. We're just going to focus on the options that optimize this for placement and maybe specify this to your state or local laws and how claw machines are allowed to be played. So first is going to be basic set. We're going to select, and here we have coins. This is showing how many coins equals how many games. So right now we have it $1 a play. So we have 4 coins being quarters USD equals 1 game. You can change how many games you want it to be up to 9, and you can change how many coins you want it to be up to 99 coins. But we're going to keep it at 4 because we want it to be $1 per play. This is where you get into bonus plays. When you pay with a card, there's maybe a minimum because there's processing fees. So you say like, okay, a minimum of $5 if you pay with a credit card, but if you pay with a credit card and you pay $5, you get a bonus play. So you can set that up here and you can go all the way up to 99 bonus plays if you want. Time, that's how much time you have to move the claw around and get over what you want to grab. 30 seconds is plenty of time, especially with the other settings that we have set, but you can adjust that to whatever you want. That's what it's set as default though, so we're gonna leave it like that. Crane position, this is basically saying, where's my claw going to be when it's not being played, and where's it gonna start when the game starts. It's typically over top of the prize chute, which is how it is right now. And this is just showing that it's in the front of the machine, but you can change it to the back of the machine as well if you want. Air grab is set to off. It's set to on the factory setting. I've set it to off simply because what the air grab is it allows you to press this button when the claw is still traveling down. If you're a kid and you don't know that that's a setting or something you can do, or you're just like pressing buttons because you're a kid, you might just grab the air and you lose a turn. So because of that, I want to make sure everybody has the most opportunity to win. I've turned that off because I don't want little kids being upset that they grabbed nothing and then the game was over. Sensor is set to on, we're not messing with that. Anti-tilt is set to off. If you turn it on, what it does is it uses a hanging weight and a sensor in a ring that's around it. If someone tries to tilt the machine and jostle it, either trying to get a prize to fall or trying to steal your machine, a big loud alarm will sound off. And it'll let the business owner know that someone's messing with the machine. So you can set that to on if you want or off. One thing I will note about the actual sensor itself or the weight itself, it can come unscrewed because the way it assembles is by screwing it on, this little weight at the bottom of a long pole with threading. If that comes loose during shipping, it can bounce around and it can hit different things like your motherboard or other circuitry. So when you get these machines, I highly recommend you look for that weight. If it's attached, you're good, but make sure you tighten it so if you are transporting it, it's not getting bounced around and damaging anything in there. For one of my machines, I actually did find that the weight was detached. Luckily, it just fell into the chute where the coins go, so it wasn't bouncing around and hitting anything important. But that could happen, so just keep that in mind. Make sure you check all of them, and you might want to remove those weights as you're transporting these to your locations. But that's a big tangent. We're just here for the menu stuff. Anti-tilt can be on if you want, or off. We'll keep it on. F2P stands for free to play. So why would you want free to play? You might want free to play on if you are testing the machine and you don't want to keep pressing the button that allows you to add more plays. Another reason you might want it on is if you are renting this machine out to someone that's having a party, and you, as part of your business, have that model where you just keep one claw machine not placed so that you can rent it out. And you say, hey, for this many hours, you get the machine as a free-to-play machine. I put this many prizes in it, so everyone at your daughter's birthday party can play. But for us, we're in the business of placing machines and making money at locations. And if the free-to-play is on, you're not going to be making any money. So make sure you have it to off if that is your business model as well. Language, if it's in English, I wouldn't touch this. Because if everything changes languages, if you don't remember A10 as language, it's probably going to be pretty hard to find unless you speak a lot of different languages. Music. This one is probably the first setting that I changed, because originally when you get this, volume is set to 12 and music is set to really loud, obnoxious music. It's up to you and the business owner on how you want to handle that, if you guys want to have music playing or not. Repetitive music just constantly going is really annoying to me, so I turned it off, but I'll show you the settings that I have it set at right now, which is mute for the music and the bonus music. But if you do, for whatever reason, want the music going, this is how you would do it. So loop is just going to loop all the different music. This is the first song, probably in Chinese, I'm guessing. You let me know if this is Chinese in the comment section below. So the second one, it is someone that I think is Chinese singing the song in English. You'll probably recognize the song. I hope it doesn't get copyrighted. Okay, next is this one. This is the song that it's at originally when you get it. There's this song. And then this is what happens when you mute it for some reason. It makes that really loud, obnoxious alarm noise, but that's also the alarm that goes off if someone's trying to tilt this machine if anti-tilt is set to on. Not gonna go through these because it's the same music, just for bonus if you are doing bonus plays. Volume is set to 6. So far, from what I've seen, this is a good balance between still being able to hear it when things are happening with the claw. Right now, if you keep the music off, the sound effects will still happen when the claw is going down and grabbing and dropping prizes. All that still happens. You just don't have the constant music playing. But it's not gonna be super annoying, because the last thing you wanna do is annoy the people that agreed to allow you to place this in their business. You want happy customers, but you also want happy host venues. So keep that in mind when you're setting these settings. I have it set to volume 6, but it goes way higher than that. Like, I think to level 48, which I've never gone to, but sounds like it would be insanely loud. And return. Back to the main menu and on to probability. Select PR. This is your probability rate. What this means is that with it set to 1, it's a 1 in 1 chance that you have enough strength in your claw to actually grab the prize. So for me, just morally and how I would want to play it, I would want it to be skill-based only and just have a 1 in 1 chance of grabbing and having enough strength. So I have it set to 1. Also, state and local laws only permit me and any other claw machine in my state to have it to probability 1, because in my state it has to be a skill-based game, not a chance-based game, if that makes sense. But you can have it all the way up to 999 times. So on the 999th time, it would have enough claw strength to grab the prize, and all the other 998 times it wouldn't have enough strength, which is insane. I'm actually embarrassed for the people who made this system that it even goes that high, but that apparently is a setting you could have it at if you want to go all the way up to that. But for us, we're good, honest folks, so we're going to keep it at 1. And I should also note that this is going to override some of the other settings that we'll get into for probability, because it's a 1-in-1 chance. Retain, we're not messing with that. Ven mode, I believe it's set to G1 or G3, but this is fixed. You can look in the owner's manual and see what all the different number and letter combos mean, but basically there's settings where you could have it to where it's fixed, meaning whatever you have it set to, it's fixed to that. So I have 1-in-1 probability, enough claw strength every time, so it's going to be a 1 play equals $1. Once you spend that play, whether you get the prize or not, that's the end of the play. But you can have Ven modes where it's play until you win if you want, or you can have it to where it does all sorts of different various combinations. But for us, we're going to set it to F, which is fixed. And then price we have set to off, but you can have it set to whatever you want. It doesn't actually show like a dollar symbol in the price, which is why I don't like setting price. I'd rather have it to where it shows 4 coins is this much of a play, like how many plays you get for that. So I have it set to off, but you can have it set to whatever you want. Gift mode is off and gift quantity is 1, because it doesn't matter because gift mode is off. But gift mode is, it's weird. So if you have, let's say, a special prize that's like a consolation prize and you have some way of giving it to them without them winning the regular prize, you can set that on and then you can mess with those settings, but we don't have any of that built into this machine, so we're not doing that. And then return, which takes us back to, you guessed it, the main menu. On to the parameter settings. Now you might have noticed when I pressed that, the claw did a little shimmy shake. That is because we're now getting into adjusting the claw itself, the claw strength, the claw speed, the claw time, all the good claw stuff. Right now it's set to 40 volts. That is plenty and not too much, so we're just going to leave it at that. That's what it is from the factory. The time is 1 second. That's what it's set to at the factory, and you'll see with the settings that we have that that's going to work great. W claw is weak claw, and then L and G and V is going to be the maximum strength of the claw. Because we have it set to 1-in-1 probability, this doesn't really matter. The only thing that really matters is that the max strength is at an appropriate max strength, meaning it's enough to grab what you're actually needing to grab. But if you were to have, let's say, like a 1 in 10 probability, the weak claw strength is going to be the strength that 9 times is going to be, and then the high strength is going to be the 1 time of the 1 in 10, if that makes sense. But again, doesn't really matter for us because we have it as 1-in-1 probability. AI mode, not messing with that, but we are going to mess a little bit with rope length. That is how far the claw can go down and travel to get the prizes. So for me, it was set to 30. We set it to 50 just so if there's something at the very, very bottom of the pile, medical emergency, something happens to where I can't replace the prizes in enough time and there's prizes at the very, very bottom, I want there to be enough rope length for people to still grab those prizes, so I have it set to 50 for that. F and B stands for front and back. That's the claw moving front and back on the track. L and R is the claw moving left and right. And U and D is the claw moving up and down. From the factory, all of these are set to faster. The problem with faster is that it's going to degrade your mechanisms and components faster. It's also not as exciting. You'd think faster would be more exciting, but it's actually not because there's less anticipation when stuff's moving and dropping. It's just not as fun for the actual player. So if you want to save your components and have them have less wear and tear as people are playing, set it to slow. That's what I have them all set on, and I'll show you the difference between faster and what slow is. Slow is still plenty fast, and it's gonna save your components. Delay, we're not messing with that. We're not messing with top or adjust. All those are factory settings that work, so we're not gonna worry about any of that, or release, or B delay, or up. All that stuff's good. Now we're gonna hit return and go back to, so you guys are good, yep, the main menu. On to accounts. Now the accounts are where you can see how many coins were inserted for online coins, which is going to be if you have a credit card reader, which we don't. Coin insert, which is how many actual coins were inserted for quarters. And current coin, that's the current amount of coins since we last reset it. And then current prize, that's the current amount of prizes that have been awarded since we last reset it. This is where we get into total numbers. So D5 is total coin. That means out of the times we pressed the free play button, money that was spent in the machine, and the total amount of prizes that were awarded in the machine. Current prize, again, this is from the last time we reset it. So every time you're doing a pull, so you're getting the money out of your machine, putting more prizes in, you're gonna check these numbers to see what it is, and then you're gonna reset it after you're done and you've gotten your numbers, so that you can, the next week, let's say the following week, you can see what your new counts are. So for this, it's good because you can see current coin and you can see current prize, and you can get an idea of your ratio. So for the amount of money that people are putting in, how many prizes are being awarded, what's that margin for that week, right? For me though, because I have a smaller claw, because I opted to get a smaller claw than normally comes in this, and I opted to do smaller prizes than normally come in this, sometimes the prize sensor works and sometimes it doesn't. If the prize drops more to the right, it senses the prize, but if the prize drops far to the left, it sometimes doesn't sense it. So for me, I can't really count on this as a accurate depiction of how many prizes have been awarded in that week. The only thing I can tell for sure is gonna be how much money went through the machine, which is unfortunate for me, but I did make changes to the original design. All right, let's go ahead and click return so we can get back to, yep, the main menu. All right, from accounts, we're gonna go down to date clear. This is where you're actually able to clear how many prizes, how much money went through, all that stuff for the, in our case, weekly numbers, so that we can get a new count of everything the next time we go to take out the money, put in more prizes. So date clear, we're gonna go ahead and select it. It's gonna clear, and then we'll go back to accounts, and we can now see 0 online coin, 0 coin insert, 0 current coin, and now current prize is 0 because we've cleared it. That also means that if we had any plays left on this machine, it's cleared those too. So now we'll go back to return, and guess what? We're now back in the main menu. Now the rest of these settings we're not going to mess with. The factory settings are what they are, and they don't need to be changed. Reset, you definitely don't want to do that. That's going to reset everything you just did. Fault test, factory test, fixed point, none of that we're messing with. We're going to go ahead and go to quit, and that is going to take us to where we're not in any of these menus anymore, and it basically locks it out so a customer can't access these menus. We're gonna go ahead and press quit, and now it's showing how many plays we have, the time that we have, which in our case is 30 seconds, and it's saying welcome, insert coin, and then it's showing that 4 coins equals 1 play. Now let's play and test it out, shall we? As you can see, I've loaded 7 plays, and as I start moving, it shows the timer countdown. You can see it on slow. It's still relatively fast. It's just not as insanely fast as it was before for the speed. Now let's get serious and try to get a duck, shall we? Let's see. I'm gonna try for this pinkish purple one. I'm gonna go ahead and press the button, but if I don't press the button and the time runs out, you'll see that it will just grab it. It'll try to get it still. All right, we grabbed the duck, enough strength, dropped it in. And all those noises happened without having the music on. Those are just the sound effects that happen while the claw machine is running. And that last little triumphant noise or music and random person saying something was noting that the prize sensor did work. So in that case, with that small prize, it landed in the right spot when it moved across the sensor, and it did sense the prize. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go into this menu here, and we're going to see if it counted that prize in the account setting. But first, let's grab our prize. I won! Whoa, I guess I played a couple other times before this part of the edit. Cool ducks. All right, now we're going back to our settings. Go to accounts. And now you can see for prizes, we have one prize, meaning we just got that prize that was just sensed, that we just played, and it still shows current coin at 0 and coin insert at 0. Why is that? Well, it's because it didn't actually go through this sensor and sense any coins. I just pressed the button to add plays. So when you do that, it doesn't actually count any money, because for it to count money, it has to be actual quarters going through this machine and going through this counter. So that's pretty cool. Even while we're testing and doing free plays, it's not actually counting as current coins. Something to note, and something that's pretty neat. I should also note that if you do have any questions, there is a user's manual and troubleshooting manual QR code right here. So that's pretty much gonna do it for this video on how to program these machines so that you can get them placed. But I do have a couple caveats before we go. One is that, again, just want to reiterate, this is not how they originally come. They have a smaller claw in my 3 machines so that they can grab these smaller prizes. So because of that, certain things are different, like the prize sensor may or may not work as well. And also, you're going to have to test not only the main prizes in your prize box, but also the key that's hidden within these prizes that unlocks the top prize box. Because in my case, the key is actually heavier than these ducks, and it's in a round capsule or semi-round capsule. So you do need a little bit more grip strength for that than these ducks that have like some unique shapes that you can grab, and they're a little bit lighter. Well, that's going to be it on today's video showing you how to program these claw machines for success, specifically the Mega Minis behind me here. If you have any questions, put those in the comment section below. If you like this video, found it helpful and informative, like button is right there. I'd love for you to click it. It's free and it's fun. Enjoy. Also, if you haven't yet subscribed, the subscribe button is right there along with the notification bell. That'll notify you every time I come out with a new video. The next video is probably going to be a full review on these machines, what I like, what I don't like about them, what I'd like to see changed, and also some ins and outs that you haven't seen in any of the other videos of this series yet, and maybe even on the internet in general yet. If you have any prayer requests, I would love to pray for you. Put your prayer request in the comment section below. And if you could pray for me, I'd really appreciate it. Prayer for me getting these machines placed quickly so that we can start showing you collection videos, we can show you installation videos, give you some checklists on what you'll want to do before, during, and after you place your machines, and continue this fun business and claw machine content. As always, thanks for watching. Thank you for being my favorite, and God bless.